running an African startup is very different to running a startup anywhere else in the world. There's the tech OGs, guys who've done it for a while. There's the new kids on the block. There's the VCs, impact investors, government stakeholders, and everybody else. It is a crazy show. And if you have been running a startup or know somebody who has, the one thing everybody has is war stories. My name is Tonee, and my African startup story is about those war stories. It's about trying to find the African inside the business, wherever the startup founder is from. It's about being able to stand up for what you believe in, to keep integrity at the forefront of what you're running, and try not to go crazy while you do it. So even as you listen, whether you're a startup founder or in any of these sectors I've mentioned, may you learn something, be inspired, maybe even start your own business. Welcome to my African startup story. Enjoy. So I missed last week's podcast because I traveled and the computer I carried fell down and broke. Oops. But we're back again, and today we're talking with John Wives. That's how I've saved him on my phone. Wives was a social network he started in 2008 on SMS with 24,000 users, no less. This is pre-Facebook. Fascinating chap. So what does it feel like to be a guy who trains, tries, fails, tries again, fails again, over and over and over? Considering when you think of Bitcoin in Kenya, he stands head and shoulders above everybody else. This is going to be a fun conversation. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Do introduce yourself so guys get to know who John is.
Yes. My names are John Wainaina, Samson Karanja.
John Wainaina, Samson Karanja.
Yes.
Samson.
I rearranged, you know the way you have your two sort of Christian names first?
Yeah.
So I decided just to flip the script.
It was John Samson.
It was John Samson. Yeah. So I don't know why. When I went to the chief's camp to set up your ID, I just thought, let me just flip my names.
John Wainaina, Samson Karanja.
Yeah. So some places I can be John Wainaina, some places I can be Samson Karanja.
Okay. Yeah, so let's just use John.
Let's use John, yes.
So John,
yes.
like what are you doing right now as we start getting into your story?
Right now, I'm running a blockchain incubator called BitHub Africa.
BitHub Africa?
I co-founded it with my co-founder Chris Kakoba in 2016.
Chris Kakoba, I know Chris.
Yeah, the Congolese guy.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so it's sort of a long story, but we decided to sort of set it up to advocate for blockchain technology like Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies across Africa.
And when did you set it up?
This is 2016.
Did you guys buy Bitcoin that time? Dude! Oh my God!
The answer is yes. I'll tell you how we sort of got into the space.
I really want to hear.
I mean, Tony, you know, I've
From
been
Days of Wife.
From Days of Wife,
yeah.
Been in the startup space. In fact, I think we probably started around the same time when you're setting up NILAB 1% Club. You remember?
That's 2008.
2008.
Yes. This is your tech OG, by the way. You've been around for a minute.
Yeah, I've been around for a minute.
Yeah. And
that time I had a project, a social media network, much like what Facebook is today. Yes.
You had one.
I had one. It was called Wife.
I know. I want people to understand.
Yes.
You had a Facebook.
I had a Facebook sort of social network. That time it was very popular in Kenya, in Nairobi. A lot of people were into dating sites.
Yeah.
The social media wave was just beginning to take off.
Yeah.
So I sort of built a system, a social engine system that was allowing people to sort of connect, much like in the way Facebook does. But the twist was we were also using SMS in the platform.
Yeah, there you go.
So somebody could come on Wive, sign up, and be able to send text messages to whoever they wanted to send to. So what ended up happening is a lot of people who are doing businesses would come on our system and then send SMSs to their customers. So if your business was called, let's call your business what? It was like a ladies' shop called Beauty Shop. They would send an SMS from Beauty Shop to their customers. So that became very popular. I think we reached about 24,000 active users.
24,000 in 2008.
This is 2008, 2009, 2010. Then, as you guys were setting up, NILAB,
Yes.
iHub,
Yes.
we decided we sort of found ourselves in that community,
Yeah.
in that space.
Yeah. We dragged you into that
Yeah,
community.
we were dragged in,
Hey.
or more, we were seduced in.
It was dragging.
It is
Violence.
more accurate. And we got into the pivot. It was called Pivot
Pivot
25. That
Oh,
time.
that was Pivot 20 before it was changed to Pivot East.
Yes.
Okay.
And we pitched Wive, and we became second in the competition. We won our category and became second in the competition.
It came with like money, like $5,000.
It came with $5,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was really how we got into the startup space formally. The previous years, we were working out of cyber cafes. I'm sure probably you did the same thing.
My gosh.
Those were the original incubators.
And Java House wasn't there.
Java was not there.
It was not there. So it was literal cyber cafes.
Cyber cafes. Met many guys. I met Kachwana. There are many guys who are still in the scene today.
But there were so many guys. We used to meet at 20th Century. There was like a cyber cafe there. But
Yeah.
They used to allow you to plug in your TCP.
Yes. I remember that cyber cafe.
Yeah, you
there was
see.
one in Norwich Union, which was the most
Everybody
most
knows
famous
that
one.
one. Yes.
And
And
those
those are
one-
the original I have NILAB situation.
Yes, and there was one in my avenue, which is where I was based. That's all I was based on.
Okay.
In Mount Kenya University, the building that became Mount Kenya University.
Okay.
So that's where it really started originally, hustling downtown in town. Did many things, came up with many sites, but the one that finally clicked with the market, you can say was Wive.
And so the question I have for you then
Yeah.
becomes, okay, so where did all of this start? Because in 2008, nobody was doing tech in 2008. Nobody was doing tech in 2008.
Yeah.
Where did it start? Because how did it come about?
Well, I got into tech, I would say, in two ways. First of all, I was doing a degree at Strathmore, Business and IT.
So the BBIT
The
one?
BBIT.
Yeah.
I think I was in the second class.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because it was brand new. Like,
it was brand new
it had
at
like
that
10
time.
people.
Yeah.
How many guys were in class?
Actually, it was a full class. It was 60 folks.
60 folks.
So, yeah, 60 folks. It was a
Wow.
full class.
That's a lot.
But compared, of course, to Nai University, that's not much for one course.
What was the average number of guys in a class?
Our class was 60
In
people.
Nairobi University?
Nairobi University, I think they start with 200 first year,
Wow.
any course.
That's a lot.
Then, of course, it goes down.
Guys
Drop out. I was also producing music for some of my buddies.
You're a producer.
I was a music producer.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, wait.
So that's how I got into sort of what happened is we needed to market our music.
Yes.
So I needed to know how to make websites to market our music. So that's how I got into software sort
So
of.
the website was collateral for the music.
was collateral for the music.
Did you drop hits?
No, we didn't drop any hit, unfortunately.
It was about the website.
That's a whole other podcast.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're a producer for music.
Yes.
Ended up having to do websites. Was social media big at that time?
Social media was just taking off. There was MySpace, there was High Five, there was Tagged. Those were getting popular in Nairobi. But what was very popular were dating sites.
Yeah.
So dating sites were very, very popular.
Nairobians are lonely people.
I guess.
I guess. I like that one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
And did you think about building a dating site or did you not?
yeah, we did have a dating site at some point. But we were not very successful with that because I think somebody had already dominated that space.
Yeah.
I think the other things that were popular were forums. I can't remember the forum names. I think there was Nairobi 254 something forum.
Mm-hmm.
And these were a lot of, us, the early guys were meeting,
Yeah.
were engaging.
So that was where guys were having conversations.
That's where guys
When
had
you were doing
conversations.
what you were doing,
Yes.
were you meeting other guys like you who are professionals in tech, or were you like the only ones?
No, we were quite a number. Like I said before, we were with Kachwana,
Yeah.
who's chairman of BIC, I believe now.
Yes.
There was David Mugo, who had a popular site called Niaje, niaje.com.
Mm-hmm.
There were quite a number, some of whom I've forgotten.
I wonder where they went.
Yeah. I mean, they're all around doing different things. But I think that's when tech was really kicking off.
Yeah.
Certainly in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And that time you could only really get internet from initially Jambo.
It was days of Jambo.
Days of Jambo.
Uh-huh.
Jambo were the only internet providers together
Africa
with
Online, wasn't it?
Africa Online, I think was.
Or it was corporate.
It was corporate. I think they were doing email or something. But Jambo, literally, it was only Jambo that could bring internet into Kenya through the VSAT system. Yeah. And there was also the United Nations also had their own connection.
How things have changed in 10 years.
Things have changed in 10 years.
5G on mobile phones.
Dramatically. Yes, and IoT, and AI, and blockchain, and a lot of crazy stuff.
In 10 years.
In 10 years.
Do you remember those are the days when we used to call on phone booths? It was a phone booth era.
Yeah, Simia Jamii. Me, I didn't find phone booths as such, although I did use them when I was younger. I found like Simia Jamii, like out of school. Yeah. I found Simia Jamii sort of having taken off.
So let's even backtrack now to where your roots. You were born in Kenya.
Yeah, born in Nairobi, raised in Limuru for the first 3 years. Yeah. Grew up in Nairobi, went to Consolata School. Then after that went to Strathmore. Then high school and then university.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm a Strath guy.
So you're a Strath guy, you were brought up here. Yeah. This whole vibe of tech was because you wanted to find a website, because you are a DJ, you are a producer.
I was a producer. Everyone wanted to be a producer.
It was like a thing by the way at that point. Yeah. It was a time of, I think,
Jokali,
yes. Ogopa DJs were killing it at that point. Around that time.
Yeah. I actually met Jokali and I actually did some work with DJ Loop, who was Chihuahuas and Bamzigis and Abbas Kubafs.
Which I talked about yesterday with, she was here. Olivia Shara was here a little bit ago.
Okay.
And that's the crowd she used to hang around with.
Okay.
I know Dennis, DJ Loop. I knew him for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Very good producer.
Very good producer.
If he's an accountant or working in a bank, I'd be very sad today.
No, he's very successful. I think he's one of the guys who succeeded through music.
Is it?
Yeah, very, very successful.
Right now?
Right now?
Okay, so I look for them, DJ. You even have his number on my phone. But that's okay. So that's where you came from. Okay, so then you did that. You started doing websites. How did you move from music to web?
So I moved through failure, I would say, because our music didn't really take off. We just did one album, mostly rap and hip hop. One of our rappers was Mark Masai. So I don't know if you'd like this on record. So
oh my god!
So
is it?
He's actually the second artist I worked with.
Do you still have a copy of that song?
Well, it's archived.
Put it on Twitter and be like, Mark Masai, check yourself out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and the song was literally called Fast Rap.
Fast rap.
Yeah, the
fast rap, like number one.
Number one. Then it was also a very fast rap. Like, in fact, I would say in hindsight, like why our stuff didn't really take off is because we were rapping very fast.
It was like Lost Boys era.
Yeah.
You could not hear what people are saying, and so you couldn't sing along.
Those are the kind of guys we are. We didn't do the kapuka, the stuff that hit, or the genge. Yeah, so...
you should go back. Now it's hot.
Yeah, we might...
No.
Well, I don't know about Mark, but with some of the other guys...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you did music, so that didn't work. You had an album, Mark Masai was on it. Fantastic. You need to get the song. And then what happened?
So, started making websites. Then... That time there was no like WordPress.
Oh my gosh!
So you had to do like
HTML,
CorelDRAW, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And there were very, very few guys who could do it. Yeah. So the demand was much more than the supply. Yeah. So we used to do together with David Mugo, another buddy of mine called Steve Gitau, even Kachwana at some point started doing websites as well. Yeah. We used to meet that demand, and eventually, we got busy with that. So the music sort of faded off.
Yeah, I started the same place.
Yeah.
Websites. Yeah. So now you start websites. This is what 2008ish.
It's 2007, 2008.
And you're still with the folks. I mean, you're out of school.
No, I'm still with the folks.
Still with the folks.
Then what happened, in 2008...
And you were like, what, 20, 25?
I was 20, 23 maybe.
23 at that time,
Yeah.
okay.
I went to England for masters.
So
in
you went
2008.
for a master's?
I went for like more or less 1.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a break between, working in town, my Avenue, River Road.
Mm-hmm.
Went to masters. When I came back from masters, and I found you guys at
the 9 Lab and
IAP. So,
and what did you go to study when you went?
I went to study sociology, political sociology.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, dude, that's a bit outside the realm of what we know.
Yes.
What was that about?
It was actually my second choice. My first choice was African studies.
Mm-hmm.
But then since I was doing now social networking, which now becomes social media.
Yeah.
We didn't used to know it as social media that time.
Yeah. It was called social networking.
It was called social networking.
Yeah.
So I thought there was a correlation between sociology and social networking, which there is, but very indirect.
Mm.
So I decided to go and study that in England.
Mm-hmm.
Finished that, then came back
And found the hard
into now the proper startup scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now when you came back, now you have got this arsenal of social information. You have worked with the people who had now become connected. These guys were the names when you started.
Yeah.
And then now you're back in the scene. What happened?
Ren Wife, one pivot 25, got a deal with Nokia to push Wife on their Symbian platform. Those all turned out to be like wrong moves.
All of them?
In hindsight. In hindsight.
All of them?
Because Nokia was being killed by later on Android and the Apple iOS.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, while it gave us funding and it propelled us,
you were building for the wrong platform.
We were building for the wrong platform.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, regulations on Send ID came for SMS.
That's 2013, no?
Yeah, this is around 2012.
Okay.
So actually what happened is Safaricom started curtailing before even the regulations.
Okay. Because now mass SMS was becoming the way.
Mass SMS was.
Everybody was mass SMSing everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the model of C2C model, which was what Wise model was, that got killed.
Yeah.
It now became B2C. You needed to have a business registered.
Yeah.
You need to go to Safaricom, get the permission.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys that did that, like Africa is Talking, at that time I think they were called SMS Leopard. Those are the guys who now took off and did well. The guys who, like myself, there are a few others, SMS 254, the other different platforms.
Yeah.
We got sort of disrupted.
Yes, especially because you didn't follow that.
You didn't follow that.
Yeah.
That model, because we were not business savvy. We were more techies by that point. So we decided, me, Chris, and another co-founder, we decided to go into the m-commerce space with CrowdPesa, leveraging off now our SMS experience. So
and you had a database of numbers.
We had a database of numbers. Yeah. So we pivoted. This is still within iHub MLab because we were incubated there. And we built a whole platform. Spent quite a bit of money. Actually, I think almost all our money building CrowdPesa.
And how much is all our money?
At that point in time, we had probably the funding we had gotten within that space was somewhere around 2M.
Okay, it's $20,000, 2 million shillings.
Yeah, 2 million shillings.
Yeah.
So we spent that on pivoting, building the platform. And then, having not learned from our mistake of impact of regulations, call it permissioned innovation, we decided to integrate with M-Pesa. I'm sure everyone has tried to integrate with M-Pesa.
Everyone is still trying to integrate with
M-Pesa, yeah. So we were there still. This is 2012, 2013.
Even before the APIs had been created.
Even before the APIs had been created. Even before there was nada. There was nothing.
Because why? You are the front of it. You are the cusp of it now.
Yes. Yeah. So we went to Safaricom. I had a previous relationship through Wife. So we went there. We even met Bob and his team in a boardroom. We presented a fantastic new m-commerce system, and we were asking for the M-Pesa integration.
Yeah.
They had, I think, IPN something
at
that time. Of course, they couldn't give it to us because it was based in Germany. These are things we didn't know. So what ended up happening was our runway of cash ran out. 2M even in Nairobi, even at that time, was not enough to take you through. You know.
Yeah. And you were one of the first people to talk to them about what then has now become a very obvious thing.
Yeah, Masoko, Jumia, OLX.
Just Daraja alone,
yes.
The whole API system that they have provided. It's because of conversations that like yours and the fact that they had so many of them. They were like, this is an opportunity we're going to miss out if we don't.
Yeah, and we had actually built a system. We had even mapped out 4,000 M-Pesa agents because we were going to do like...
this is 2013.
2013. We were going to do commerce. Then we use the agents for... we leverage the agents either for distribution or cash. So we had a whole plan, which made sense.
Wow.
Which
man.
I guess they're trying to do with Masoko.
Yeah.
I don't know how far that's going.
Yeah.
But we were too early. Timing issue. We had the devs, we had everything. The tech was there, mobile web. We had the tech experience. We didn't have the business experience, but we had the tech experience.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah. So this is how we actually end up now in Bitcoin and blockchain.
Yes, so jump now. Let's go from there. So you guys go, you do that, your runway runs out. What happens? You close up shop? You sell?
We were now stuck. We knew we were shutting down. We had no other options.
Yeah.
So Chris comes and tells me one day, hey, John, I think this is either December 2013 or January 2014.
Yeah.
There's an event called Africoin in IHAP. They're talking about payments, something. So we decided to go for that meetup.
Yeah.
It had, I think, Bonali, the IHAP guys. And they were talking about something called Bitcoin.
And that was the first time you heard of it?
That's the first time I heard of Bitcoin.
It's 2014 January,
Yeah,
let's say.
2014 January. So I listened to this Bitcoin, then everything they're saying seems like a solution for CrowdPesa.
Yeah.
So what we did, went, researched, look for the Bitcoin white paper. There's a document. If you go to bitcoin.org, you can download the white paper. It tells you what Bitcoin is all about. Studied that white paper. Then we're like, damn, this is a solution to payments.
Yes.
Because we didn't have the payment integration system.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not a solution then.
Yes.
I would argue even maybe now, because a lot of people still don't know about it.
Yeah.
But what we liked about it is you could integrate immediately without going through a permission model.
Yes.
So you didn't have to go and ask for permission.
Yeah.
You just sit in your room,
Code
take it, code, integrate, and you can test.
Done.
So we entered that rabbit hole. I ended up like closing everything, studying it in and out. And I guess I would say maybe my whole experience from Wive all down to CrowdPesa is what made me really appreciate it a lot, because I'd gone through those two failures.
Yeah.
That I saw now this is really, really an opportunity for the payment space, especially here in Africa. Where
And at that time, Bitcoin, if I remember correctly, around 2014, it still had not peaked globally. It was starting to catch up.
It was starting to catch up. Well, actually, ironically, it had peaked in terms of price.
Yes, so now the price was going up and everybody was being told buy a Bitcoin and guys like, what is Bitcoin?
It had gone to $1,000. Yeah. I think I found it at $800.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I remember ran out of money, so couldn't buy much.
But wait, couldn't buy much. So what did you buy?
I think I bought 0.6.
Still, bro, that's a lot.
I bought 0.6 at that time.
Yeah.
I had to wait, I think, 2 years, because it went from 1,000 to 800 to 600 to $150.
Yes.
So I actually lost money.
Yes.
For 2 years.
But you held it.
I held it.
Yes.
So I had to wait some time for it to
go
back to where I bought it.
The point was at $20,000.
Yeah. So got into the space, became a consultant for BitPesa, which was a Bitcoin exchange founded by Jamusheru, now CS, a lady called Elizabeth, Duncan Scott. So they were the three founders of
BitPesa.
Yeah. Okay. So I joined as employee number 2 or 3. As a consultant initially, then later on as an employee, doing the sales and marketing. So
then what was BitPesa trying to do?
So BitPesa, they were trying to enable cross-border remittance transfers initially, which they still do in a way till today. We came up with a system where you could change Uganda shillings to Kenya shillings through Bitcoin.
Okay. And I think they, if I am not mistaken, they had if I'm not mistaken, they had a ATM, a Bitcoin ATM somewhere.
No, we tried to get an ATM. I don't think we actually did it, unless they did it after I left. Okay. But during my time, we were talking about ATMs, but we didn't actually do it while I was there. Okay. We did that. At some point, we had the fastest Bitcoin exchange in the world. At some point.
Calm down.
Yeah.
The fastest Bitcoin exchange in the world.
Yes. Why?
Explain to me, yes. Because that's, hey, the world is big, man.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. Because of, we had integrated with M-Pesa. And M-Pesa was the fastest payment system in the world.
Yes. Okay.
So it was sort of an artifact of using M-Pesa at the time that we were. It was both our selling point, and it was also what landed us in trouble eventually.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because people young guys are adopting Bitcoin like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have returned to the levels of adoption that we had at that time yet in Kenya. And it was simply because of the M-Pesa gateway we had.
Yeah. So by this time, M-Pesa has created an integration product that you guys can be able to use, and they have moved from Germany or not?
I think they had moved. They had integrations to like PesaPal and there's another one for this Martin Kasomo, Lipisha.
Yes.
So at that time we were using Lipisha.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting here soon as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're in BitPesa.
Yes.
You've been doing this. The exchange is working. Kids are, they're picking up this Bitcoin vibe.
Yes.
Then what happens?
That grows quickly. We begin to get adoption in Kenya, in I think Uganda, in Tanzania, of course, but Kenya was doing the best. And then I think one day in 2015, the CBK decided through Safaricom somehow, I'm not privy to the details, they shut down the Lipisa connection. So I'm sure Martin will tell you in detail what happened.
Yeah.
And then that meant that the BitPesa gateway
was cut down. So the link was dropped.
Yeah.
And that blowback
it
must have affected, because Lipisha was being used by many people.
Yes.
Okay.
So that killed jobs.
A lot.
In a sense, including mine. It sort of made that industry sort of stagnate. Because now we are believers. We've seen the potential of this technology. I've been fortunate enough to travel for a few conferences globally. So I'm seeing the wider adoption. I'm seeing what's happening, in other markets. So at that point, we're sure this thing is taking over in the next 1 to 2
years.
1 to 2 years.
The whole world is thinking it's going to take over. By 2020, there will be no fiat currency.
Yeah.
I remember those conversations. I mean, it was huge.
Yes.
It was massive.
Yes. So what usually happens is you overestimate the short term and underestimate the long term.
Yes.
So that was a lesson from that. That the hype cycle sort of makes you think things are happening tomorrow, and they'll actually happen 10, maybe 20 years later. Went back sort of to I was in BitPesa maybe 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So by that time, Chris was running what was remaining of our business, Space Kenya.
But what is there to run?
We still had legacy SMS clients, legacy web hosting clients, legacy from all our previous businesses.
So those guys gave you, was it a subscription model, or did they pay you for services rendered, or did they buy a product one-off and then you were just doing customer service?
We were just doing customer service like any other web hosting or SMS hosting. Because we still had loyal clients, even though we got killed by... And actually, we were taking business to Africa Stocking. That's actually what was happening. We became sort of like a reseller to Africa Stocking, Kina Sam, Kina Eston.
Yes.
So we realized when we were bit, so we joined.
Yeah, you
join the winner.
You have to learn when you have been beaten.
Yes.
That's a really good, and then you stop fighting because sometimes it becomes an ego trip.
Yeah.
And you just need to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
You gotta tame the ego.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
entrepreneurship has no space for ego.
Yeah.
So there we have it. So so now you're taking stuff to Africa Stocking, you're reselling your stuff to them.
Yeah.
BitPesa has kind of now ground to an impressive halt.
Yeah, in Kenya.
They
took off in Nigeria shortly after that.
Is that right?
Yeah, they took off in Nigeria.
Okay.
They moved to Nigeria, which is a smart move. But by that time, I'd already left.
Left the company, yeah.
So we now set up BitHub Africa.
And when you say set up, explain to me why you set it up and what it is.
Because we were thinking this technology is going to take over in the next 2 years. So we wanted to be sort of the voice or the brand, in addition with others like Bitpesa, around that technology. So we came up with a sort of a model of doing meetups and consulting to take the Bitcoin technology across the Africa. So we did about 7 countries. Then eventually we ended up doing the United States. We did about 20 states, targeting black universities.
This is you guys.
Yes.
You guys.
In partnership with others.
Yes, of course. But you guys were once.
Yes.
This is something you guys came up with and said, right?
Yes. So we have a company called Bitmari that is also doing remittances in Zimbabwe. So they're our partner in this, in the United States, because it's based in Washington, D.C. We actually even now host a summit called the Black Blockchain Summit.
The Black Blockchain Summit.
Yes.
Bro.
So in D.C.
And when, once a year, twice a year, every quarter?
Once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, every September.
What's the purpose of the Black Blockchain Summit?
So it's to advocate for the benefits of blockchain technology across black communities across the world.
Yeah, from a lot of failure and challenge to hosting the Global Black Blockchain Summit in Washington, D.C. every year. That's quite a leap. In the next podcast, we talk to John, finish up about cryptocurrency, and see what the future of this space is.
But until then, it's Tonee saying have a lovely day, and I hope you learned something. Take care.